let's talk about Shattered Pixel Dungeon. But before I show you that, I want to show you the original Pixel Dungeon. This is what the menu looked like in the original game. Very simple, very basic. 4 buttons: play, rankings, badges, about, and that's it. Also, I wanted to play you the music for a moment. Okay, some of you may remember that because you probably played the original Pixel Dungeon. But it's probably also been so long that you don't remember what it looked like. It was literally flat 2D. You always had to hope that you could find a dewdrop vial before you gathered up too much dew, because if you don't need it for healing, you would just lose it. Also, remember this, there was only one quick slot in the settings menu. There is a button to open up a second quick slot, so in case you got a real nifty wand, it would be there for you, but it was not defaulted. Also, I wanted to show off some of the sound effects so we can compare. I need to find a monster so I can have a kill to play for you. It's kind of hard because I keep hitting. That's not a good room to go to. Come on, take me. There's a good monster. Okay, that's what killing sounds like in the original. And yes, if you open up a skeleton, remember that sound effect. Okay, so that's enough of that. Exit game. Now we want to show you, but first, of course, naturally, I want to show you that I have over 23 versions of Pixel Dungeon on my phone. This is the latest new one. It's an inverted game. It takes you from the bottom of the dungeon and you have to fight your way up to the top as one of the monsters. It's a classic old strategy developed by the guys who did Wizardry. I think it was Wizardry 6 when they did that. But this is Shattered Pixel Dungeon. Notice how he has completely redone the menu. Here's Enter the Dungeon at the top and a big broad button. And to support the game, no advertising, just a support the game button if you want to. Important things to remember and always keep track of. The Changes button pulls up a window with a bunch of icons that show features that have been fixed in the newest version. Balance tweaks. Oh, I wanted to go back and show that. The Sandals of Nature. I just recently got a pair of those in a game recently. They're very interesting now. And I really like them. The Ring of Arcana is good. Yeah, here's what he talked about with the Seeds of Nature. Again, with new features, you actually have the information to read up on them there. So in case you remember the original Pixel Dungeon but don't know about new things in the game, he's done tutorial editions. He has, let me see if I can find where it is. Where did he put it? Tutorial and journal and stuff like that. Oh, I also wanted to show off him talking about the desktop enhancements and Steam release, because he actually made a desktop version of it for PCs. There's special rooms as of 1.2. And yes, I can't find it right now. You'll have to get the game and thumb through it. Daily runs for seeded games. This is something else I wanted to talk about. A new feature that he's come up with. But the news button brings up his blog entries where he talks about things he's doing or talks in more detail about the new features that he's advertising in the Changes button. But also pay attention to the Changes button. When updates become available, the game will check for you and notify you of updates that can be done. And this will change into the word update and will be flashing in green, which is very important for you to keep up with, because 1.3 no, sorry, 1.4, 1.5. This is currently 1.4.3. Version 1.5 is supposed to be a soon to be coming major update. The big patch, this one here. This is 1.4 that he's brought out, but he's talking to some in previous blog entries about things that he was going to do in, yeah, here it is, where he's talking about things that he was going to do in 1.5, 1.4, but it's now going to do in 1.5. So 1.5 is going to be a big update coming soon. But no, oh, and another thing I wanted to show you was music. Well, it's already been playing. I had to reduce the volume some so I could be heard, and when I edit the video, the part in Classic Pixel Dungeon, since he did not have volume level control, I'm just going to have to mute that a little bit, or what they call duck it. And no, it's never ducking, right? Anyway, so let's show off what Shattered Pixel Dungeon looks like. I'll talk about the traits of the game later. I just wanted to show off the game, just so you can see what it looks like. Note we've got this delightful 3D effect. Yes, you have to use 2 fingers to expand the screen and shrink it, so you can see the whole map. Yes, I do need healing. So this will be a good way to show you how much he's tweaked the game. Another thing I wanted to show you off is the talents tree. He has made it so that for every class there's unique and different talents that you can update. Personally, I like doing the Arms Master's Intuition so that you can identify armor simply by equipping it, but you have to be careful about cursed armor. But still, it's a handy feature to teacher warrior. What else? The journal and tutorial features. This is the Tome of Mastery. Here is the tutorial, which shows off how to do various things in the game. Especially when it comes to alchemy, this is a very vital part. This shows you what floor you might be on, whether or not you have unused keys. This shows you items that you have encountered. And this is the lore of the game. The backstory that you will find throughout the dungeon in little brown notebook-looking icons when you find them. Of course, you can always come back to this and actually read them again, even if you haven't discovered them in the current game. So the nice thing is you'll be able to read them actually in the sequence they were written, probably. It would be an interesting question to ask on Discord. Are the guards' letters kept in your journal in their chronological order, or are they just in the order you discovered them? But yeah, that's... See, I've only got one page in the Explorer's Log. To show off the seeded runs feature, you have to win the game at least once to be able to use seeded runs. And that is my goal, is to play the game all the way through and win it once so I can show off the seeded runs feature, because that's an amazing new development in this game. And if you look at the character set, every dungeon is a seeded dungeon. So this is something that's already built into the game. And I want to find out whether or not are seeded dungeons built exactly the same, or are they based on like the Your Pixel Dungeon maps, where it's basically it's similar, has similar items in it and similar rooms, but just arranged differently. I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out, because I'm going to have to win this game once to show it off. And for those of you who are Shattered Pixel Dungeon veterans, please coach my gaming and give me advice on how to play better so I can actually finish the game. Especially when it comes to the DM300, I have the hardest time fighting that guy. It's a real no-brainer fighting the goo. But, you know, for inexperienced players, yeah, that's a tough monster to face. Tengu can be a bit tough, but I've learned just get plenty of projectile weapons. That's the best way to fight him. So, that is my showing off part. And we will return to this game later and play it through again.